Hey guys, Uncle Ray. You know, if you're watching this, the odds are you're going to be somewhat financially successful. The question is, are you going to get to the level you want? Well, unfortunately, for about 9 out of 10 of you guys and girls, you're not going to get to the level you want. And here's, right out of the gate, one of the first cock blocks that you're going to do to yourself. What am I talking about? Well, we're about to get into that. But before we do, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Ring the bell, click the like button, and share with like-minded people. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. You know, the odds are if you're watching this, you have ambitions to be successful. Some of you wildly successful, billionaires, maybe the first trillionaire. I get it, and I'll never want to hold you back. However, for the average person, the majority of the people watching this video, you'll have some success, but you're either going to make your journey a lot slower, harder, or you're just never going to get to the level that you want to be. And here's what's probably going to happen. So I'm going to give you two scenarios, and the good news is, once you know, you don't have to learn it the hard way like I did. You'll have the answers and you'll be able to make a choice if, how, and when you want to go to the next level. Okay, let's talk about something. Let's say you just got out of college a couple of years, got a great job, you start making a little money. Or you're an entrepreneur and you started a small business or online business, doesn't matter, and you're doing pretty well. And those two guys are making, say, $250,000, $250,000 a year. They're already somewhat successful. That probably puts you in the top 10% financially in America, if not the world. Now, let's say the first guy who's making $250,000 decides to go buy a house, a new car, maybe even a boat, join a country club. He can afford it. And my bet is 9 out of 10 of you will be doing something like that. So now you look successful. You are somewhat successful. You got all these payments because you financed everything. You got a little extra income to do a vacation, eat and drink what you want relatively. Life's great. Okay, so let's keep that on the shelf for a minute. The next guy, making the same money, he decides to keep living in a, say, one bedroom. He's been driving a car for 4 or 5 years. It's very modest. And he decides to go ahead and pay it off and drive the tires off of it. So he's pretty much his debt free. He's not going to Starbucks spending $5-6 on coffee every morning. He's putting his money in the bank. 3 or 4 years goes by. The first guy, he's just in the rat race. He's thinking, I need to make more money. I need to make more money. I want to invest. I want a second home. I want a quadruplex. I want a day trade. Whatever it is. But he's just struggling. He's got a lot of pressure financially, and he's just in the struggle. His girlfriend wants to go shopping. He wants new toys, right? He's struggling even though he's making $250,000. The next guy, he has about $150,000 in the bank. He decides to go buy that quadruplex. He's got good credit, puts some money down. Now he's got a quadruplex. It needs a little fixing up. Puts some money into it, raises the rent. He's got positive cash flow. He's got some equity, and he's off to the next level. Now, I'm not going to go back and forth and make this a long conversation, but what I want to point out is the first guy, the odds are 10, 20, 30 years later, he may have pulled some money out and been able to go to the next level, maybe get that quadruplex, maybe make a couple investments. but the odds are he's stuck. Now, we're not even going to talk about the tragedy that can happen when you're that leveraged, like when you hit a recession or you lose, you get sued or you lose your biggest accounts. I'm not even going to get into all that. We're going to say that's a good scenario. He does pretty well. He ends up having, a nest egg to retire in. He's taking great vacations. He's pretty much maintained or went up slightly throughout his cars and got an even bigger house. But now let's talk about the next guy 10, 20, 30 years later. He parlayed that quadruplex into another quadruplex and another, maybe in a small apartment complex. And the biggest thing he's done, if he's done it correctly, is he hasn't had the same amount of pressure. Yes, the headaches come with all that, rent and all that, people not paying their bills, not getting into all that. But he has the same amount of toys and maybe even a bigger house. Why? Because they're making the same amount of money and have been. Let's say they just kept doing it. Kept making about the same amount of money. But see, his assets are paying for his car, his second home, his other apartments, his other investments. See, he has extra income because now he's making the same amount of money as the first guy, but he has equity. He's building a huge nest egg. He has cash flow from his assets, and he can go to any level he wants to. So that's what I'm trying to make you understand. And that's just one cock block that you're probably going to do to yourself. But now, hopefully, you understand that the way to do it is not to run out and live your means right out of the gate. It's live under your means and become, this guy's a fake it till you make it, and he's going to be on that level pretty much his whole life. The next guy is not fake it till you make it. He keeps putting his money away and into assets until he's actually made it. Because when you see those two guys, let's say 40, 50 years old, sitting at a red light, one's driving a financed or leased Porsche, and the other one's driving the same exact car, but his investments paid for it, there's no comparison to those two guys. I want you to be the second guy. Anyway, that's something to ponder, something to think about. And please leave comments. Tell me what you think. If you have any questions about that, let me know. I'm Uncle Ray. I'm not always right, but I'll be right here for you, and we'll figure it out. Take care, guys. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so.